What's the biggest promise your parents broke? My parents told me they were saving money for my college. They said it was locked away in a fund, just for me, so I grew up believing it. Anytime I asked why we didn't do family trips, or why I couldn't get new clothes like the other kids, they always reminded me that everything extra was going toward my future. So I trusted them and didn't complain. I worked hard, studied a lot, and focused on grades instead of fun. I even skipped prom and took the long way through life, all because I believed I was being set up for success. But my last year of high school came, and I got accepted into a good state college. Not super fancy, but I felt proud. It was time to use the college fund my parents had talked about for over a decade. But when I brought it up, they told me the money was gone and they didn't explain much. Just that life had been expensive and things changed. So I stood there shocked because they acted like it wasn't a big deal. They told me I'd figure it out and lots of people paid for college alone, and I was smart enough to handle it. But I didn't know what to say because I'd given up years of opportunities because I believed in that fund and I had no backup plan. I hurried to apply for student loans and picked up 2 part-time jobs. I stayed up late studying, worked weekends, and lived on instant noodles and discount groceries. At first, I thought that was the worst of it. But a few months later, I went to a family barbecue because I hadn't seen everyone in a while, even though I didn't feel like it. I was by the drink cooler when I heard my cousin bragging to her mom about her new look. She listed off the plastic surgeries she'd had done, and she said my parents paid for it all to make her feel good. I stopped moving because she said how much it cost, and it was almost all the money my parents said was for me. I left without saying a word, and that night, I asked my parents if it was true, but they didn't even try to hide it. They told me my cousin had been insecure for years and needed help more than I did, and giving her confidence was more important than helping me with school. They told I'd be fine, but that night, I packed my bag and left. I stayed on a friend's couch for a few weeks. I stopped talking to most family except my aunt, who my parents warned me to avoid, but I had nothing left to lose, so I went to her. I told her everything and she listened quietly, but then she told me something I'd never heard before. She told me she needed money years ago for a life-threatening surgery, so she went to my parents for help, but they told her no because they were saving the money for my college. And she'd believed them, just like I had. My parents gave the money to whoever they wanted to impress. It was never really for me, I was just the excuse. After that, I stayed close with my aunt, and she became the only real family I had. We spent holidays together and talked every week, something I never had at home. I graduated left with debt, but I made it through. I found a job, got my own place, and started over. And then out of nowhere, my parents reached out because dad lost his job and they couldn't pay their house bills, so they asked for a little help and I told them I'd take care of it. And I did, but just not the way they thought. I rerouted the bills to a secret box and I let the late notices pile up without paying anything, so the debt grew big. The night before they were supposed to be evicted, I told them I had accepted a new job and was moving out, and they told me they were proud of me, but they had no idea what was coming. The next morning, someone knocked on the door and I wasn't there, but I knew they saw a red eviction notice telling them to get out. I knew the panic they felt because I'd felt it once too. They tried to call me, but I didn't answer because I was done, and now they knew what it felt like to be left with nothing.